Michigan basketball, simply known as national champions. Let's talk about it right here on this episode of Locked On Wolverines.
You are Locked On Wolverines, your daily podcast on the Michigan Wolverines, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Monday night or Tuesday morning, however you want to look at it. Locked On Wolverines podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. I'm your man on the ground, Isaiah Hole, publisher of Wolverines Wire. I completely forgot what I was going to say. We were just going with it. All right. So Michigan won the national championship. We're just going to break it down. We're going to talk about how wonderful that was. Essentially 69-63 over UConn. Man, that they did not make it easy. UConn made it hard all the way through, but Michigan, after going down by 3, came back, had a couple small runs, and as much as UConn kept on trying to make it a game, they just made it uncomfortable the whole way through. Michigan perseveres and wins the national championship. First time since 1989, first Big Ten one in 26 years. Guess what? Michigan has just as many national championships as the other school that claims to be a basketball school. Just wait until November. Wait till basketball. Well, maybe not this year. And I think the most impressive thing about it, honestly, was the fact that Michigan played terrible on the offensive side. I mean, defensively, it played great. Offensively, I thought there was a lot that Michigan left on the table. It for the first 10 minutes, Michigan didn't really play its style of basketball. Actually, probably more than that. It was eventually they started kind of okay, after the half, you could see Michigan was like, hey, we normally do. We normally run a lot. So let's do that again. But the first 10 minutes, Michigan felt really tight. It felt really like it just wasn't itself. It wasn't really doing what you would expect Michigan to do. It was being a little impatient. I mean, it was still passing the ball and all, but it was being a little impatient. Michigan only finished with 7 assists in this game, which is wild. 7 assists, 10 turnovers. Weirdly, the turnovers kind of came in late because obviously they got 2 on the final 15 seconds or whatever it was. But ultimately, this was the most un-Michigan basketball game ever, which kind of leads to the point that we've been long making, is that however you want to play, Michigan can beat you. Because UConn wanted to slow the game down. UConn wanted to take up all the possessions. They wanted to limit Michigan. They definitely made things difficult down low. You could see there were always whenever a guy wasn't already on his spot, there were already 3 Huskies waiting for him. And then, even when he was there, they were quick to get to him. They weren't going to let a die beat them. And he finished with 8 points. Michigan was 2 of 15 from 3. And Cadeau and Trey McKenney with the most clutch shot. I mean, it was, for a true freshman in that moment, to hit that shot when he did, because that was a 5-point swing. UConn was about to score a layup. They missed it. Michigan has the quick outlet. They get it down. Trey McKenney gets the shot off very well. Instead of being I think it was a 9-point game at that point, or 7, something like that. I think it was 7-point game. It could have been a 2-point game or a 4-point game. I can't remember the exactly how that went. It's all a blur at this point. But I thought that everything that you would normally expect for Michigan, got an eyelash on me somewhere. Everything that you would expect from Michigan, they didn't do. Right? We are accustomed to seeing Michigan drain a lot of threes, run a lot, throughout, have a high scoring game. They didn't do that. We're accustomed to seeing Michigan losing the turnover battle. They didn't do that. You're accustomed to seeing Michigan struggle from the free throw line. They didn't do that. And that was really the difference in the game, was getting to the free throw line. 25 of 28 in this game. 25 of 28. And they did this also with a very clearly injured Yaxel Lendeborg, who still managed 13 points, playing 36 minutes despite having one leg. I mean, that was about as gritty of a performance. It was a weird game. It wasn't like a fun game to watch. Kind of like the Washington National Championship. It's kind of the same thing as, I mean, obviously against Alabama in football. That one went to obviously overtime. It wasn't like this fun romp, but it ended up being fun in the end. And then Washington just kind of became like all right, well, now they're going to do it. Right. And that's kind of what this ended up being. Right. Like just a little bit too close for comfort. Didn't really pull away. I know against Washington in football, they did pull away. But how blessed are you if you're a Michigan fan to have a football national championship just 2 years ago? A basketball national championship just 2 years after going 8-24. And you've got hockey as the 1 seed in the Frozen Fours in just 2 days, 3 days, depending on when you're watching or listening to this. I mean, it does not get better than that. So let's continue talking about the national championship. Let's talk individual performances and we'll go from there. Let's do that here in just a moment. But before we do, Way Day is here. And if you've been thinking about upgrading your space, this is the time to do it. We're talking about some of the best deals of the year on furniture, decor, outdoor essentials, everything you need to refresh your home. During Way Day, Wayfair is offering up to 80% off with fast and free shipping on everything, making it easy to find pieces that fit your style and your budget. My favorite part of Wayfair is they have everything, and I mean everything you're looking for, without having to leave your couch. It's super easy to filter by style, size, and price, so you're not wasting time scrolling. The reviews and photos help you feel confident in what you're getting, and Wayfair verified products are vetted by specialists so you know that you are getting quality. Whether it's upgrading a room, adding outdoor pieces, or just finding something that ties your space together, it makes the whole process simple from start to finish. Wayday is the sale to shop the best deals in home. We're talking up to 80% off with fast and free shipping on everything. Head to wayfair.com April 25th through the 27th to shop Wayday. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Get your first month of the Everydayer Club for free when you use the code MARCH. You'll unlock ad-free episodes and entry into our private listener group chat where I'm hanging out daily. Click the link in the show notes or go to lockdownwolverines.supercast.com to claim your free month. All right, let's take a look at what the individual performance is. Obviously, the MVP of the game was Elliot Cadeau. He finished with 19 points. Again, this is a very un-Michigan game because usually you don't expect Cadeau to be your leader. Usually you don't expect there only to be 3 players in double digits. It was him, Morez Johnson, who did the heavy lifting in the first half, and Yaxel. That's it, really. And Morez, however you want to say it, I'm just looking at the abbreviation. His 10 points came in the first half. So he only had 2 more points in the second. But that was what they needed. And big for Yaxel, going to the line 5 times, draining all 5. Cadeau got 8 of his 9 points at the free throw line. McKenney got 4 of his free throws, 4 of his 9 points from the free throw line. Marcherati didn't necessarily go nuts in this one in terms of offensive output. Obviously, he had the dunk that was just blew the lid off the place. But he went 1 for 4 from the line, from the field rather. Missed those 2 free throws at the end, which were made up by McKenney draining his 2 free throws. But like this wasn't like a crazy Adai didn't dominate offensively at least, and Namari did his normal thing pretty much. And Will Shetter had the most ill-advised trying to score a layup of all time. And it didn't end up biting them. Man, if that game got tied, how much would everybody be like looking at that for a second and being like, okay, dude, seriously. What wide open Yaxel sitting right there. You got a guy face guarding you. And you decide to try to take it the whole way. I understand you want to score in the national championship game, but dude. And that was kind of the thing is there wasn't that unselfish play. Right? This wasn't the type of game where you're just okay, yeah, they're really moving the basketball. You saw that against Arizona and it was easy. And again, in this game, it was a bunch of guys trying to play hero ball all the time. And somehow they made it work. They were still that good. And that, despite getting out rebounded, they only ended up finishing -7 in the rebounds. But like, there was a point where they were like being doubled up in the second half alone after like narrowly winning the rebound battle. And UConn had 22 offensive rebounds. It didn't end up biting them as much as you would think in terms of second chance points. Michigan had 14 and UConn had 19. So it didn't really end up biting them as much as it really could have. But like, this was a game where Michigan was going on long stretches of not scoring. And there were still too many turnovers at the inopportune times. But the defense, like Dusty said this in the aftermath, is like when the offense wasn't working, the defense picked us up, and it was kind of vice versa as well. And it's just funny because it's just like, how often do you see Michigan only score 69 points in a game? And it comes in the most important game, and the defense holds strong. And therefore, they emerge as not only national champions, but maybe one of the best teams of all time. Certainly the best Michigan team of all time. I mean, they were pretty close to unstoppable. The only way Michigan really got stopped for the most part was either if it stopped itself, or kind of more likely some random comes in and just starts draining a bunch of threes. And I don't think anyone would have looked at this game and thought going into it that UConn was going to hoist 33 threes and Michigan was only going to hoist 15, and UConn was going to outshoot Michigan in a big way. In that, right? Like, you'd think, okay, Michigan put up 15 threes. They probably hit like 5, maybe, right? Like a 30%, like, you know, it's not the typical game. Nope. 13%, 2 for 15. I can count on 2 fingers how many Elliot, Cadeau, Trey McKenney, each hit a 3. That was it. Meanwhile, like, they didn't get killed by Braylon Mullins, who had 3. They didn't get killed by Caravan, who had 3. They didn't get killed by Solo Ball, who had 3 and was in foul trouble and not able to do a lot of times. So it ended up just kind of working out. And they kind of managed, right? Like, they managed to get Terrace Reed off of his spot. They managed to do the things that they needed to do. So now it's the national championship. They are national champions. It's wild. And as much as Dusty even said afterwards, he's like, I still kind of can't believe it. I'm in the same boat. It just feels like, all right, they won the national championship. Now it's time for the world championship. And after that, it's time for the galaxy championship. And then after that, it's time for the universe championship, right? Like, it's what it feels like, just internally at least. But celebrate. Hopefully a lot of you are staying up late and just doing so. Took the day off work, I hope. PTO. It's kind of that time of year right now. All right. We still got plenty of time left. So we're going to continue talking about the players. I thought I talked a lot more. It's late, folks. It's late. And I don't have my clock up right there. But Morez Johnson, by the way, double-double in this one. Ends up getting 4 fouls. Kind of felt like inopportune time because it was kind of, running late. You just didn't want to see him fall out like Solo Ball, or not Solo Ball, Demary, whatever you want to say. Like he ended up doing. Solo Ball at 4. But, I mean, what makes this even more of a boon is you've got a couple guys who already said they're coming back, but it's a great send-off for, Yaxel. It's a great send-off for Namari. And I mean, at least in terms of result, he had 4 points in this game. That's not, all 4 of his points came from the free throw line. Now, had he not been fouled on both of those, he would have done it. But I think the one thing that really worked out was that they even though they played an uncharacteristic style in this game compared to what you were accustomed to, and they played right into the hands of UConn, they still remained aggressive, and that's what allowed them to get to the line as much as they did. And I know, I'm sure social media, I've already seen a little bit of complaining from rival fans about it and whatever. But, I mean, it's the fact of the matter is they were aggressive. Even when things weren't working, they were aggressive. And a lot of times it was because they were playing hero ball. They couldn't get it down to Mara. So you had guys that were going in and, like Mara never even attempted a free throw. Like, even though he's been a heck of a lot better throughout the season, like good. the only one that missed any free throws. The only ones were Elliot Cadeau missed one, and Roddy Gale missed those two at the kind of the worst possible time. But you've got a lot to build on. You've got Trey McKenney coming back. You've got Elliot Cadeau coming back. You've got who else said they were coming back? Someone else said they were coming back, and I can't remember all of a sudden. And then you've got this new class coming in that, with this 5-star combo guard from California. It's just like you're playing with so much right now. It's just unreal that this is where they're at. And I think it just even makes it even better in a way. Like you would have liked, you would have liked any of the other times when it's the national championship game. Obviously you would have loved the Trey Burke year to come away with that. That felt like a special year. And that was before I started the media, and I was over the moon. I watched almost every game that year. It's just wild, though, to be in the spot where they were just so dominant and still managed to average like 90 points over the course of the NCAA tournament. And to finally be this team being the one that breaks the Big Ten streak. Because even though you as a Michigan fan, you watched them take the moment, I think you probably watched Michigan take down Auburn. You said to yourself, this might be the year. They might be able to do this. And then when they took down Gonzaga, you're like, they're going to. But still there's in the back of your mind, because it's going to take one bad game. Look at Duke. Right? It just takes one bad game. And that's why I broke the curse when Josiah messaged me with like 4 minutes left saying Michigan's winning the national championship. And I said, did you watch the UConn Duke game, my guy? You watched it. And sure enough, they came pretty close. They say good teams win, great teams cover. This one, I don't care. They won. It did not matter. Style points. They come home with a trophy. They get to hang some banners. They get to have a parade or whatever they decide to do. It is unreal. Congratulations to Michigan. Let's continue talking about this national championship win. Let's do that here in just a moment. But before we do, it's tax time. But for a lot of us, the old way of doing taxes is a lot. Trying to book an appointment that's not the most convenient, sitting in a waiting room with a stack of papers and emailing back and forth and wondering if they really get your situation. But this year, you're getting a major upgrade. Intuit TurboTax now has in-person locations nationwide. You can meet face-to-face with a real tax expert, and your documents get uploaded straight to your TurboTax app on the spot. And just like that, you're done. Your TurboTax expert works to get you every dollar you deserve while you get real-time notifications as you go about your day. It's the relief of walking in and meeting a real person and walking out knowing your taxes are being handled right. Head to turbotax.com/local to find the store near you and book your appointment. It is unreal to be sitting here and just contemplating the fact that Michigan won the national championship. I know we all expected it, like we just talked about much earlier in the year. And yet you just, you had that feeling like something was going to go wrong down the way, especially like when not losing to Wisconsin, but more so, I think probably the Purdue game, maybe Duke a little bit, even though I think a lot of people exited that with more optimism. And I think that Steve Dace was right when he said at the time, like, now Michigan's going to win the national championship. And I think that game actually was a little bit of an inflection point, because Duke out-physicaled Michigan in that game. And this game seemed equally as physical. And Michigan was the one who was able to emerge victorious. When nothing went right, Michigan, they battled down low. They didn't let really, like, there were some open looks for UConn, but ultimately they found a way. There was a lot of moments where they could have folded, and it kind of felt like, even though they kept it close to Duke, it felt, similar, but this time it was Michigan that was asserting itself physically when it needed to. And I think that showed up in some moments, like the Trey McKenney, the one that was flagged by Dan Hurley to see if he had if he had committed a flagrant foul with his elbows, which was just absurd. But like, even then, it was just like the strength there. There was the Morez Johnson hook and hold. You could the physicality of this Michigan team, I think, came alive at the right moments, because if those moments don't happen, if you don't have a team that's out there saying like, we're going to scrap for everything, right? Like, because that's, I think, one of the things about this team is it's a team that yes, it can win any way you want, but with as much shooting prowess as they've had and success as they've had, it very well could have been an NBA team and gone out there and just been like dainty about it, right? Get, punched in the mouth, back. No, okay, now we're going to back down. They weren't that. And I think that Elliot Cadeau really led the charge, especially in the last 2 games, of being that assertive leader from a physical standpoint. And he's not even he's actually literally the smallest guy, which makes it all the better. But and funny, he was one of 2 guys that was in the negative. He was -1 when he was out there. Will Shedder was the only one below with -6. But Cadeau really kind of set a tone. And even though he wasn't as much of a facilitator in this one, I mean, he was the one he was the floor general that you hoped he could be. And I think that played such a big difference. And I hope that Yax gets, even though like we don't have any more games to watch, Yaxel Lendeborg, the fact that he at least went out with 13 points, clearly hobbled, only 2 rebounds. I don't know that he's had only 2 rebounds at any point in time and that he's been at Michigan, save for maybe the first game when he was also coming off of an injury. I mean, just the grit that it took to go out there and play as much as he played. 36 minutes. He led. That's the crazy thing. He led the team being out there when he's the most hobbled guy. And I think that they could have found a way to replace him for a bit, just get him out there for 25 minutes. But no, he wouldn't be denied. And he made some of the clutch shots that they absolutely needed as well. So what's going to be fun the next few days is watching the coping. Certainly that's going to be a big deal to the rivals. You're going to get all the say. You're going to think that if you were to believe them, you're going to think that Connor Stallions did something else, right? Jeff Moss had a really good tweet. I'm going to read it here just to get us there. He said, "I know Michigan fans are really happy now, but in 3 years, some woman is going to DM Spiro and tell him that Yaxel cheated on her with an OnlyFans model. So you better enjoy this while you can." That is the perfect pastiche for everything you're going to endure. But just like in football, you can hang your head high. You can be excited. Nothing's going to take it away. Super incredible. And yeah, we're going to continue talking some Michigan basketball, I guess technically today, later on Tuesday afternoon. But for us tonight, now in the aftermath of the national championship game, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Simply known as national champions, your Michigan Wolverines basketball team from 2025 and 2026. I'm Isaiah Hole. Thanks for watching and listening. Peace.